What would you say to someone that believes that there is not enough talent and maybe now I don't have that luxury? Because when we talk about assessment, say, well, Florin, that's a great idea, but you know what? We barely have 1 or 2 applicants, so I cannot use your assessments, right?
Yeah. No, I think this has really, like, over the last year been such an important and challenging area for a lot of companies, where like the talent shortage has been tough for a lot of companies. And what I would say to them is that I would probably say that they're probably viewing talent the wrong way. Because yes, there is a talent shortage if you view talent based on what is written in a CV. If you only want to hire someone that has studied at a certain university, that has a certain degree, that has worked at a certain type of company, that use a specific programming language, then you are really, really like limiting the candidate pool that you can hire from. I think what successful managers and companies are doing is really like reshaping how they view talent. So if we think about like a human being can be compared to like an iceberg. When we meet them, what we see them doing, their behaviors, that's kind of what's like above the surface. And that's what we will judge them based upon. But like why they behave and why they perform the way they do is pretty much based on 2 different aspects. One is what we refer to as like readiness, what they know, their knowledge, and what they have in their experience backpack, what they've done before. It will impact to some extent how they will perform. But like the largest piece of the iceberg, that's like the furthest away from the surface, we really need to dive into the cold water here to understand it, is what we refer to as potential, like who that person is. And that relates way more to their stable traits, their core, kind of like the essence of that individual. And that decides so much more of like how someone behaves. And the problem with like recruitment today is that we focus too much on knowledge and experience. I mean, I was done as a psychologist 2015. The things that I were taught when I studied are already like no longer relevant. So even if I have like knowledge on paper, it doesn't really say something. And I think what's interesting is like the way we today view talent is, again, those like fancy logos, but also like the norm of performance. There is a large part of the population that has a struggle to find a job. So just to kind of name some statistics here, if you are a woman, you have to send in 30% more application compared to if you are a male applicant. If you're a person of color, you have to send in 50% more application than if you're white. If you have an Arabic sounding name, you have to send in 60% more application if you operate in a like European country. And that's like regardless of your work experience. And it's not because all recruiters are vicious and evil people. It's because the human brain evaluates candidates based on, their life and their experiences, which makes like we view talent as someone that has studied on that university, has this certain degree, is white, is middle-aged, and is male. And then, yeah, I understand that you don't have any applicants. But if you kind of like flip the recruitment funnel around and focus on potential, like who is this individual? What are their core characteristics? Rather than reading a CV, you will open up the talent pool a lot. And some hacks that you can use is like inclusive language in your job ads is going to really help you with attracting candidates, and then not including too many requirements. Because we also see that like some people will not apply if the list of requirement is too long. Men tend to be way more comfortable with sending in an application even if they only meet like half of the requirements, while a female applicant won't. So, I mean, I think we are neglecting a lot of candidates. And when we are like sourcing candidates, we are focusing in like a too narrow kind of duck pond rather than seeing like the full possibility here.